Now, one main source of opposition is coming from Republican governors. States like Ohio, Florida and Nevada have taken advantage of the Medicaid expansion under the Affordable Care Act. Their governors pressed senators to oppose rollbacks. Chief Congressional Correspondent Nancy Cordes spoke to Ohio Governor John Kasich.
Governor Kasich, Republican leaders say that their bill gives governors like you more flexibility when dealing with the Medicaid population.
Well, they give us a little bit more flexibility, but no money. The whole key was we need not only flexibility, but we need the resources. And when you dramatically cut the resources that fund these programs, then people are left wanting. We're going to have a lot of people who will just lose what they need, which is decent health care coverage, primary care coverage. They need that in order to go to work. There's a perception out there that these people get on these programs and they stay forever. That's not true. In Medicaid, they're in for about a year and a half. And with the exchange, a lot of them are working poor people who are trying to better their lives. So without the resources, I appreciate the flexibility, maybe a little bit too much in some areas, but we need to have the resources.
Republican leaders say, of course, governors are always going to want more money, but it's money that the federal government just doesn't have.
Yeah. Well, look, my view on that is we have the resources in place. We don't need to get rid of them to just give significant tax cuts to people who are at the top. Number two, we have to deal with rising health care costs, which they don't really seem to be willing to do. And that is to bring changes to Medicare, additional changes to Medicaid, and we're willing to work. And my concern is if we don't stop the inflating costs of health care, which we can tackle, but they're tough decisions, then it will put us in a deeper and deeper debt hole. And look, I've been the greatest advocate of balanced budgets and constitutional conventions to balance the budget. I was the architect of when we balanced the budget at the federal level, so I'm aware of the debt issue. But you get there over time, and you get there without putting people in a position of where they can't work.
What message should Republican leaders take from the fact that so many Republican governors have problems with this bill?
Well, look, I think the answer ultimately is to have a Democrat and Republican plan. And I'm calling for Democrat senators to have a press conference to make it publicly known together in a group that we're willing to fix this thing. We're willing to work with Republicans to get it done. And then I'm very hopeful that Republicans will say, okay, let's sit, let's talk, let's work together.